Conservative New Media viewers and JLin fans around the world, what is up? It's me, PFV, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. We're here to talk about the Boston game. Now, normally this would be a long video, but there's no time to do the long video because I didn't have time, and tonight's game is coming up quickly. So instead of that, this is going to be what I'm going to call a quote-unquote extra analysis video. I want to go over some more things about Jeremy, particularly quickly from the game. What I'm not going to do is no quarter-by-quarter stuff, but we're going to go over a few more things just about Jeremy and the team in this game quickly. Now, there might be some pauses and breaks in the action here just because I'm going to do this quick, and I'm just going to go through my notes, but it's not completely organized right now, so bear with me. Look, the good thing about the team overall in this game was that they kept their intensity for the whole game. One thing that's been a problem for the team all season is that they'll play great for a quarter or a half, and then they'll play not great in the other quarters or the other half. The Boston game was probably the most complete game that the team played the entire season, and it was great. Secondly, Let's talk more about Jeremy specifically. Jeremy, at this point in time, in terms of the research that I've done, apparently is, as a bench player, coming off the bench, he is the second leading scorer in the NBA coming off the bench behind Isaiah Thomas of the Sacramento Kings, and I believe he is the number one assist leader coming off the bench. So at this point in time, Jeremy is very, very well positioned to make a strong case for sixth man of the year if he can continue this level of production. The only three people, well, the three top people that I look at that could win that award right now are Jeremy, Isaiah Thomas, and Jamal Crawford of the Los Angeles Clippers. The truth is, Isaiah Thomas probably won't be in the running later in the season because the Kings aren't going to be very good. So a lot of times your team needs to be good for you to win these types of individual awards. So look, a lot of us aren't happy that Jeremy's not starting, but he's doing great. And for him to have a real chance to win sixth man of the year, that could only boost his career and his prospects. So we'll keep our eyes on that going forward. Jeremy looks very relaxed and very calm now. And it's just great to see this. He's clearly finding his way and finding his niche with the team. Now, he's still working on that. But just his overall mental state is much, much better than what it was before. Now, the reason why, and I know a lot of you guys aren't happy about this, the reason why Jeremy's scoring a little bit less in these last couple of games is because he's trying to be more of a playmaker right now. The last 3 games or so, the ball has moved much more. It's moved much better for the entire team, and Jeremy's a big part of that. And his assist and turnovers show this. He's concentrating right now, it looks like, on distributing the ball and distributing it well. Now, Jeremy can score because he can always score. That's probably the easiest part of his game, particularly on drives. But what I've seen in the last 3 games, looking up the stats, he is averaging 5 assists and only 1.3 turnovers. That is enormous. That's like almost a 5-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. Now, I'm not saying he's going to keep that up all year because he's not going to keep it up. I don't think anybody's ever kept that up for a full season, a 5-to-1 ratio. But he's working on that. The reason why people like Terrence Jones and Patrick Beverley are scoring more is because Jeremy's getting them assists. He's giving them the ball. He's trying to move the ball around. And that's good. He's trying to play more of the traditional point guard role, which, as we've heard doubters say a million times, he can't do. He's just a scorer. He's a shooting guard in a point guard's body, this type of stuff, which is nonsense. We know that's nonsense. We know it from Linsanity 1.0 in New York, and we know it from the Philly game just a few games ago. Jeremy can distribute the ball when he wants to distribute it, and that's what he's trying to do. I listened to Jeremy after the game and post-game interviews last night. I listened to Kevin McHale. The team's working to move the ball around more. A number of you guys have pointed out James Harden looks like he's passing more. Yes, he does, because I think the team has said to him, move the ball more. And a huge part of that came from the Philly game when Harden sat out and Jeremy had 12 assists. That's what the team wants. And because Jeremy was able to do that, the coaches could then go to Harden and say, dude, do that. That's what we want the team to be. So everything Jeremy's doing is helping him. It's helping him gain more standing with the coaches and with his teammates. So don't worry about, I know a lot of you guys weren't happy in the Boston game. You want Jeremy's points higher. You don't want Patrick to have better stats than him. But trust me, Jeremy is playing great. And his PER went up after the Boston game. So believe me, this isn't yo-yo stats. This is consistent Jeremy. But it's also a Jeremy that's trying to figure out what the team wants him to do, and someone that's going between scoring and distributing. And so but it's not just Jeremy figuring out what to do. It's the team figuring out what they want to do. So this is normal for this young team that's a new team playing with one another. But Jeremy is doing great in adapting to all of this. That's the key. Whatever they're asking him to do, he's doing well. Not perfectly, but well. Before it was heavy scoring, now it's more distributing. Great. The more that Jeremy can show that he can run the point and run it well with good assist and low turnovers, the more freedom he's going to get. And the more teams around the league will look at him as a real point guard and not just this shooting guard nonsense that people are trying to pigeonhole him as. So this is good. This is good. Now, I looked up Jeremy's stats in relation to all the point guards in the league, all the qualified point guards, meaning point guards that are actually playing enough minutes and stuff. Jeremy's like, it's like number 9 in PER, which is phenomenal. His PER is 19.6. That's incredible. His PER during Linsanity was 19.9. And so and he's a much better player now, even though he doesn't get to distribute the ball all the time because he's playing with James Harden. So it's, as I said, it's getting better. But the thing he does want to keep working on for his own player profile, meaning if he ends up leaving Houston at some point, is he does want to work on the assist and the turnover. Try to get your assist up. Try to get your turnovers lower. In terms of points and PER, he's in great shape. With assists and turnovers, those are the two areas where he doesn't compare quite as well to other point guards. And again, much of that has to do with Harden, because Harden's an assist guy. He's not an assist guy on the level of Jeremy, but he takes away Jeremy's assist because Jeremy doesn't get to make those assists. So I really do think Jeremy's making a conscious effort to focus on those two areas in the last few games. He knows he can score. Now, his shot's not going to be there every single night because it never is for anybody, including the great shooters like Ray Allen, and sometimes they go through little slumps on the three-point shot. But he knows he can score, and he's still working on that. He's still working. What happened in this game, multiple times, he did individual perimeter offensive moves, which is something we've talked about that he needs to do, and he's doing it. I mean, he's doing everything right now. He showed that ability in this game, and he also played excellent defense in this game. He was focused on defense. That's the other area, along with assist and turnover, that he needs to focus on in terms of rounding out his game right now. And he played terrific defense in this game. He was dedicated to good defense in the Boston game, and you could see it. So that's what he needs to work on, and I do believe he is really consciously working on that now, probably with the reinforcement of the coaching staff. They know he can pass the ball. They know that, no matter what anybody says. The pass that Jeremy made to Terrence Jones, I was third quarter, whatever. It's in the highlights in the link that I put in the short video comments for the highlight package. That was an insanity type of play. That Jeremy just crossed half court. He passed the ball off the dribble, one-handed, right hand, zipped the pass over to Terrence Jones, cutting down the left-hand side of the lane for a dunk. That's Linsanity. And he's capable of doing that. That's the type of pass that John Stockton used to make, the great point guard. Off the dribble, one-handed, lightning pass. Jeremy can do this. And I'll tell you something great about Terrence Jones being in the starting lineup. Terrence and Jeremy have excellent chemistry. And Terrence has excellent athleticism, and he has excellent hands, which means, guess what? Jeremy's going to get a whole bunch of assists to Terrence Jones. And those two get along well. And Terrence is one of the few players on the team right now that's looking for passes from Jeremy. He's not surprised often, or not as much as some of the other players like Dwight is, when Jeremy throws him the ball. Why? Because they played together last year, and Terrence knows what Jeremy's capable of as a passer. It's not perfect. There's been a couple of miscommunications this year. But that play that Jeremy did with Terrence and that dunk might not have happened to any other player on the Rockets, just because of the total amount of skills that Terrence has and the chemistry that he has with Terrence. So it's going to help Jeremy that Terrence is playing more now. Also, Patrick, as I mentioned, is scoring more because Jeremy's finding him on plays. At least one of the three-pointers Patrick hit last night was because Jeremy set him up for it. That's good. That's why they work so well together, because they're different players. Patrick's more of a spot-up shooter type of a guy, whereas Jeremy's more of a playmaker. That's why they work so well together, among other reasons. And they like each other. You can see it. If you look at that highlights video that I put up in the short video comments, you'll see them hugging and stuff. Look, those guys get along great, man. Again, I've nothing but love for Patrick. Patrick's a good dude. I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's playing well now, and it's going great. I will tell you this, though. Because of the last two games, the Denver game and the Boston game, when Patrick was in the game, the team made huge runs. And so now the statistics, the advanced statistics that were heavily in favor of Jeremy, have now tilted towards Patrick. What I mean by that is, offensive rating, defensive rating, net on court, off court, which is like, how does a team do when you're on the court? How does a team do when you're off your court? Most of this has to do with plus minus stuff and things related to that statistic. Not all of it, but almost all of it. Patrick, as you guys know, and I know a lot of you guys weren't happy about this, Patrick had like a plus 30 yesterday, and Jeremy had a plus 0. Well, that's going to skew the statistics a lot. So what you're going to hear now is you will hear doubters saying, hey, look at these advanced statistics. Patrick needs to start, and Jeremy doesn't need to start. This is basically the Jonathan Feigen argument from the other day, where he said the thing about the team scores twice as much, or they win by twice as many points when Jeremy comes off the bench. So you're going to hear more of that now because of these advanced numbers shifting in the last two games. Don't worry about it. Don't listen to it too much, because a lot of those statistics are skewed. And don't worry about it. Jeremy is playing great right now, and the league knows that. That's why he was in the running for Player of the Week last year in the Western Conference. So trust me, he's doing great. Jeremy is getting better at passing into players when the player is fronted on defense, meaning when the defender is between Dwight and Jeremy. That's not usually how the defense plays. Usually the defense plays behind the player. Well, Dwight and James Harden are sometimes fronted on defense. And so you have to work on getting the ball in the right spot. When that happens, Jeremy's getting better and better at that. He got passes, I think, to James Harden and to Dwight in good spots when they were fronted in the Boston game. And that's good. That shows increased skill and increased chemistry. Another thing, and somebody pointed this out in the comments of the short video, Jeremy is now passing up opportunities for passes on pick and roll plays, and that's good. The reason why Jeremy gets a lot of turnovers is because he'll try to make passes in the lane when he's driving that aren't there. In other words, don't try to make the pass. Many of these passes come on pick and roll plays. What I have seen in the last two games, and again, this commenter, and I can't remember who it was, might be Jack Chang. What they said is when the roll man, when the defender is staying with the other person in the pick and roll, which is often Dwight, Jeremy is now shooting the ball instead of trying to pass it. That is critical because now it's much better to get a missed shot attempt than a turnover, because when you get a turnover, you don't get any shot, and that's not good for the team, and honestly, it's not good for your own statistics. I'd rather have a missed shot than a turnover, particularly for Jeremy, who's criticized as a high turnover person. So that is a big improvement. And what this looks like, and you can see it in the highlights, what it looks like is you can see where Jeremy's coming off a pick and roll, and you can see him looking to Dwight or looking to Demo or looking to Terrence Jones, and he's thinking about a pass, but he sees that they're covered, and he just goes up for a layup or a floater. That's awesome. That makes me so happy, and I've seen that in the last two games. So Jeremy's improving so much. It's incredible. And this team is still young. They don't know what they're doing yet. They don't know how it all fits yet. And Jeremy's still improving. For him to be able to improve the way that he is in this situation is amazing, especially after he got dissed and demoted, basically. Okay. Yeah, as I said, the ball movement of the team is picking up. You can see that in the number of assists. And again, the coaches, I'm sure, are telling people, play like that. Play like the Philly game. Play like this, not play ISO ball. Also, Jeremy played his fewest minutes of the season in the Boston game. So people are like, oh, he only scored 11 points. Well, he only played 24 minutes. That's he had another game, maybe like the first game or whatever, he scored like 16 points in, 27, 28 minutes. Okay. But he also had 6 points in one game where he played about 26 minutes. So don't worry. Again, the PER number went up. If the PER number's going up, you probably had a good game. And Jeremy had a good game against the Boston Celtics. Okay, let me look quickly at quarter by quarter, just if there's anything in particular that I want to point out. Sorry for the discontinuity here. Just said, middle of the first, Jeremy's playing calm and under control. Late in the first, Jeremy is working hard not to leave his man on defense. Again, Jeremy's often criticized, including by me, about losing his man on defense. Zach Lowe wrote an article on Grantland the other day saying that Jeremy's ball watching. And that's true. He does have an issue with that. That means your man doesn't have the ball. You're watching the guy who does have the ball, and you lose your man. So Jeremy was working in this game to be better at that, and that's really, really good. Then I put a note late in the first. Jeremy is locked in on defense, and he was. He was definitely concentrating on defense in this game. Clyde was nice to Jeremy this game. Actually, he was really nice, but he still had a few moments. He still had a couple of moments. One time early in the game, it's like Jeremy beat whoever it was, Courtney Lee, off the dribble. And Clyde's like, "Oh, Courtney didn't read the scouting report, which says make Jeremy go right. Don't, or no, let him go right or make him go left, or something like this." I'm like, well, why are you saying that about your own player? Why are you trying to tell the opposing player how to guard your guy? Why do you do that? You should be pumping up your guy for beating the guy off the dribble. Don't pimp the other guy. Don't promote the other guy. So it's just, but you know what? And somebody said this, and I don't remember who said it in the other comments. Look, you guys might be making too much out of Clyde stuff, and that's fair. Look, I don't think Clyde's malicious towards Jeremy. I just don't. Clyde's Clyde. That's the easiest way to say it. Like, you have the crazy uncle, right? Clyde's kind of like the crazy uncle. He just kind of Clyde, and he says what he says and does what he does. Now, I don't like it all the time, and we'll say it when it happens, but it's just Clyde being Clyde. I mean, maybe that's the best way to say it. And then later on, the announcers were saying, look, Clyde actually says Jeremy was playing the best out of all the Rockets. So, again, let's give Clyde credit. Let's give Clyde credit. We give him a hard time, but let's give him credit when he deserves it. Then I made the note about Jeremy's individual perimeter offensive moves being better. I then put Jeremy super confident now, late in the second. Swag is rolling. He was calling out plays, directing the offense. He's gaining in confidence. And then I put a note that says, if Jeremy keeps this up, he's going to be the primary ball handler and playmaker on offense. Why? Because he had a bunch of assists with low turnovers, and James Harden had 7 turnovers in the game. And this is, look, as he shows that he can do this, we have seen McHale and the coaches be fair towards Jeremy this year, even if they maybe weren't fair in not starting him. They are giving him more playing time. So if he's able to keep doing this and able to demonstrate that he can consistently put up good assists with low turnovers, I assure you they will let him run the offense more. And that doesn't mean James Harden's never going to run the offense, because, let's be honest, that's not going to happen. Again, the coaches aren't on the court. So if Harden's on the court and he wants the ball and he wants to run the offense, he's going to run the offense. But what will happen is that Harden will gain more confidence in Jeremy. Now, Harden might still want to, quote-unquote, get his and not let Jeremy run the offense, even if he has confidence in Jeremy. But there's a natural progression here. So if Jeremy keeps playing like this, it's going to naturally shift to Jeremy having the ball in his hands more. And that's really, really good. So, again, if you guys have not done it, go and check out the new Jubilee Project video about Jose. It's just a tremendously well-done video. I put the link for that in the comments of the short video. It's really worth watching. Jeremy's in it. It's about an 8-minute video, and it's just really makes you feel good about humanity. And it's a touching story about this 18-year-old young man and his struggles and kind of how he's overcome his struggles. And just he talks about Jeremy and gets to talk to Jeremy. Somebody mentioned on JeremyLin.net, it was Psalm, the poster Psalm. And I know Psalm from Twitter. He's great. He said something about the butterfly effect via Twitter. What he's talking about is Psalm put up a post on Twitter, and he was talking about how much it had spread. And this is what I always talk about in terms of Lin fans getting in the game and getting the message out. Believe me, for some and everybody else listening, there is a butterfly effect. And if you get out there and tell the truth, and you get out there and put out the stats, it will spread. It absolutely will spread. I can guarantee you that it works. I know it. I've participated in it. I've seen it. It works. The reason why Jonathan Feigen, in my opinion, I have nothing against Jonathan Feigen. I respect him as a writer and as a professional. If Jonathan Feigen puts out a tweet saying the team scores twice as much or has twice as much margin of victory when Jeremy comes off the bench, well, why do you think he's putting that out there? Well, it's true. Of course it's true, but a whole bunch of things are true, including a bunch of positive stats for Jeremy as a starter. You put stuff out there into the Twitterverse so that it gets picked up and so that other people learn that and they spread it, which is butterfly effect. So, yes, getting in the game works, whether you're on a message board, Real GM, Clutch fans, whether you're on Twitter, whether you start writing for Bleacher Report. Believe me, it works, and it will work. And there are plenty of people observing JeremyLin.net and other sites. So if you put the information out there, it will spread. That's a huge reason why I do these videos, because people watch the videos just the same way that they read JeremyLin.net and go to Clutch Fans and go to Real GM. Get the information out there, and the rest will start to take care of itself. Yes, P.S. Tutty, you said that you're starting to believe me more in terms of this, how the whole competition is good thing worked out. I told you, bro. I told you. And now you guys are starting to find out that I knew what I was talking about. I think a lot of you guys thought that I was just saying stuff just to try to make people feel better. No. The one thing about me and John and these videos, I'm not going to make stuff up. I will not sugarcoat things. If there's something that I see, then I'm going to say it, including the negative. You've heard me say before that Jeremy has limitations on his athleticism and like his lateral movement. That's what I believe. That's not what a lot of Lin fans want to hear, but it's what I think is true. But it goes the other way. When I know a huge reason why a lot of people love these videos and like me, and I've heard this, people have told me this, was because during all the hard times of the 2012-2013 Rockets season, when a whole bunch of Lin fans were down in the dumps, demoralized, I was the opposite of that. I was like, no, dudes, it's okay. It's going to be okay. And now you're seeing it. I was correct about that. But I didn't say that just to say it. I said it because I could see it. I knew what I had already seen with Jeremy during Linsanity 1.0. And I knew what I saw last year. I knew he wasn't healthy at the start of the year. And that's why when he started to improve the three-point shot, and we saw the April 2013 double-digit scoring string run, I was like, yeah, real Jeremy's back. Somebody mentioned that Clutch had done just a podcast or something saying, yeah, I didn't realize Jeremy could be this good. Well, I tried to tell you, dude. And again, I like Clutch personally because I've known Clutch for almost 20 years now. And I know he's not the biggest Lin fan. A lot of people think, and I know that. But we tried to tell you. We tried to tell you guys. And thankfully for the Lin fans that have hung in there, now you're seeing the results. And I'm glad, P.S. Tutty, that you have more confidence in me as a predictor or whatever. Look, there are people that know more about the game, some of the intricacies or the strategy or the sets and stuff of the game than I do. Somebody like Coach Nick. Coach Nick knows offensive sets and the names of them better than I do, just because I never studied that to any great extent. I could learn it, and I probably will learn it at some point. there are people that know statistics about the game better than I do, although I know the statistics pretty well. What I'm great at is I'm extremely good at analyzing things. John's very good at that too. Thank goodness for that. I mean, we're just blessed with that ability. It's not like I did anything great to become like that. So I can look at situations and look at a scenario and look at a sporting contest and size things up pretty quickly. Once I saw Jeremy play enough, JLin Sandy 1.0, I was like, this is for real. This is for real. This guy's legit. Not only is he legit, he's clutch. He likes the big moments. He likes the big games. That is not something you see every day. And what I also knew about Jeremy was that this is a guy that had been dissed his entire basketball career. And now when they gave him the shot, he's destroying it. So it's like, this guy's not going away because they finally let him in the door and he broke it, the place wide open. He's not going anywhere, no matter what anybody says. See, the problem for Houston fans, and I told them this on Clutch Fans, the problem for them is they believe the haters and they didn't watch him play in New York. That was the biggest mistake that the Houston fans made. They didn't watch Jeremy in New York. They saw highlights, but they didn't really watch him. So they believed the New York media saying that he was a fluke. They believed that junk. Well, I didn't believe that. I knew that wasn't true because of my own analysis of my own experience playing the game. There's no way that guy was a fluke. Look, Kobe said the same thing. This guy didn't come out of nowhere. A bunch of people missed on this guy that should have known better. That's what Kobe said, not me. So if Kobe could see his talent level, it's pretty clear what his talent level was and that his talent was there. And now you're starting to see it for real. This is only the beginning. Again, hopefully he can stay healthy. If Jeremy stays healthy, I don't care where he plays. I don't care if he plays on Pluto. This is only the beginning of what he's going to become. This is just the start. Now, he's not going to, he won't stay athletic until he's 36 or whatever. So there will be a time where the athleticism will decline, and that's a significant part of Jeremy's game. His skill level is only just starting. You're going to see better and better and better play from him going forward. So this is exciting. And I said, I never, ever wavered in my confidence towards Jeremy because I knew what he was capable of doing. And I saw it for myself. Just like all you guys did. Just like all the doubters did. They just didn't want to believe it. But I didn't have that problem. I didn't have that blindness to what I was seeing. It's like, yeah, this guy's good. And he's clutch. Like when he hit the three-pointer late in the Oklahoma City game last year when Harden scored 47 and Jeremy scored like 28. It's like, man, this guy's for real, dude. I knew it. Okay, that's it. It is about 5:50 p.m., so we're only like less than 4 hours away from tonight's game. This video is already probably about 35 minutes, so I got to get it up as quick as I can. So just going to wrap it up. Thumbs up, thumbs down, your comments below. Come join us on Facebook and Twitter. Find information about that in the video description below the video player. I am PFE, Paul Villarreal, the NBA expert, and yes, I do know a few things about basketball, even if you don't have faith in me completely. But look, I'm just giving you guys a hard time. This is great. Don't be disheartened with Jeremy's stats. If he doesn't score 18 points every single game, he's doing extremely well. He knows it. The coaching staff knows it. People around the league know it. That's it, man. And he's happy. He's happy. We said yesterday, you watched the video with Jose. You watched how Jeremy interacted with the Carly Wright young woman with cancer who was hosted at the game by the Rockets. Jeremy's just a good human being. And so you're happy when you see people like that do well. He's finding his spot now. He's finding his comfort zone. And, man, I'm thrilled, dude. I can't wait because I just want to keep watching because it's going to get better and better. And this is it. This is what we wanted. We're getting beyond the time now where Jeremy's a joke and a fluke. And it's going to start coming down to earth. And he can't really be in the NBA. That's all starting to go away. We're not fully there yet, but we're a long way towards that now. Let him play like this and be consistent for half the season, and it's over. And then we go from there. Of course, we want him to start, and that's one step at a time, one thing at a time, one day at a time. And the day against Boston, Jeremy played well. And that's it, man. Let's just move on to tonight in the Dallas game, and hopefully he'll light it up again. And we'll just go from there. Okay, hope everybody's having a great day, a great night, wherever you are around the world. We will be talking to you in several hours as we go over what is hopefully a victory tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. Take care. Talk to you soon.